Honestly, before this experiment, I didn't really think that eating grass-finished versus grain-finished beef would make a difference in how I felt. I was eating grass-finished primarily for like the omega-3 fatty acids that it's higher in, and also because it's a lot more sustainable. I know that the beef that comes from butcher box and the beef that comes from my local ranch, that those cows are treated well, that it's beneficial to the environment and all of that. So it was more of an ethical thing for me than that I thought it actually made a difference in how I felt in my body. And then I took a poll from you guys on YouTube, and you guys said about 30% of you said you feel better eating grass-fed, grass-finished beef. 5% said they prefer either due to taste or due to how they feel grain-finished beef. 20% didn't notice a difference, and then 42% of you guys, and thank you for being honest, said that you've never done an experiment to know well enough one way or the other how you feel on either quality of beef. So first you probably want to know, like, how did I feel on grain-finished beef and how did I notice a difference? The first thing I noticed was that I was eliminating a lot more, and we have this big old video series that I did a while back about elimination on the carnivore diet, and in general you just don't go to the bathroom a whole lot on the carnivore diet. Well, eating all of this grain-finished beef, I was back to going once a day, and it was not a small amount that you generally expect from carnivore. So that tells me that my body wasn't digesting this food as much as it does the grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And second, I noticed I was eating quite a bit more. I could finish like my whole big New York strip, which is one of my favorite cuts of steak, but usually it lasts me, like I'll eat 2/3 for dinner, then I'll eat the rest with some eggs in the morning. Or I was eating a whole big ribeye steak. And so that was just something that I noticed was interesting, that I was eating a lot more, and that if I wasn't digesting it as well, that kind of makes sense. But then those two together obviously negate the cost savings. If I'm eating more, I may as well buy the higher quality that's better for the environment, right? And then last, I didn't actually feel bad, like my mental health symptoms didn't come back. I didn't gain weight. I didn't notice any inflammation, but it was also during a kind of chaotic time of moving and like getting kids settled into school, so I might have had some slip by that I didn't really notice. I didn't notice that I was more tired or anything like that. So overall, like, I don't feel like it affected my health poorly, but I also don't feel like it was a cost savings at all. And so then, since it is better for the environment to eat grass-fed, grass-finished beef, I'm going to go back to supporting that regenerative, sustainable agriculture as much as possible, since now I know that eating grain-fed isn't even really a cost savings. Then one thing that I thought was kind of interesting is it started tasting almost like bread. Like, I still have some of the steaks and I'm incorporating them in with the butcher box meat that I'm eating as well. So I still have some of the steaks, but it tastes so much more mild, and it tastes almost like doughy bread-like. It's still good, like I still enjoy my steak salted, but it's not something that tastes like kind of as primal and as gamey, which I like that flavor, as the grass-fed beef is. If you're sold one way or the other, but you've never actually tried eating mostly grass-fed, grass-finished beef for a while, it's something that might be interesting for you to try. Like I said, you might find that you're actually eating less and you're eliminating less, and so you can get by on a lot less. And then one more thing I did want to talk about is the cost real quick. Is you might think like, well, why is grass-finished beef so much more expensive than grain-finished beef? It's because when you finish the beef on grain, first of all, grain's subsidized, and so your tax dollars are subsidizing the cost of the feed for those beef. And second, you can fatten up the cows so much faster, so they have to be cared for a lot less. There's a lot less hands-on time. There's a lot less time that they're taking up space before the rancher can sell them to be processed and sold as meat. So that's why it costs more to have grass-finished beef, even though they're just really eating what grows naturally from the land, which we have a ton of that out here in Montana. So those are my results from my little 10-day experiment. Thanks for joining me. If you'd like to sign up for grass-fed beef on delivery, click down below. Butcher box is what I'm back to using. I actually just got a box today that I can show you real quick what it looks like. So they just delivered this box to me. It came FedEx. What happens is this nice sturdy box. This is one of the smaller ones. I usually get the bigger one. Comes in with dry ice, and so this still has a little bit of dry ice. I usually put it in the sink and run some water over it, and the kids love the fog, the dry ice fog. And then ButcherBox, if you've ordered from them before, for a while their packaging wasn't awesome and I'd have to like kind of repackage some of the stuff when it would come after shipping. But now it's packaged really well right now. So you can get, I like to do my custom box where I get the different cuts that I want because I always prioritize high fat, higher calories, which usually means beef and their pork, and their pork is absolutely amazing. And so if you think you don't like pork, just try a little bit of the ButcherBox pork and you might actually like it. So I highly recommend this. It feels good in your digestion. Some people have said that they definitely feel better eating grass-fed, grass-finished beef versus the conventional beef. I definitely feel better as far as sustainability, that it's better for the environment. And then, like I said, I just didn't notice the cost savings between eating more of the conventional beef versus less of the ButcherBox. If you have tried a similar experiment, I would love to know what you think down in the comments below. Thanks for joining me. I will see you back soon.